Welcome back to Picture Healer channel. In the last video, we talked about I Ching divination with a traditional method of the 50 sticks. It is a more traditional method, but it's very time-consuming and complicated. So today I have an easier way to cast down your I Ching hexagrams. This is done by numbers. You can use page number of any book, or you can pick out some rice grain and count the numbers, or you can use Bagua cards. So there will be 8 cards or 8 numbers and work from there. Or actually you can use any 3 sets of numbers or even 2 sets. When you are thinking about a question you want to answer and look around your surroundings, if you see some numbers that stand out to you, you can use those numbers too. And today I'm going to show you the page number, the rice grain counting, and the Bagua cards method. And the methods are basically the same. We will need to have 3 different numbers. The first number shows the lower gua of the Bagua, and the second number shows the top gua or the upper gua. So with a 2 gua number, we can come up with an I Ching hexagram. That will be 6 lines. And the third number is a transformation line or the transformation yarrow number. And the I Ching hexagram, traditionally we count the yarrow number from the bottom up. So the first line or the first yarrow is actually at the bottom, and the 6th line is on the top. The third number is optional. If you want the transformation line, you need a third number as a changing line. Now we'll look at the Bagua. This is the basic Bagua. The number 1 is Qian, heaven. Number 2 is Dui, lake. Number 3 is Li, fire. The number 4 is Zhen, or thunder. The number 5 is Shun, or the wind. Number 6 is Kan, or water. Number 7 is Gen, or mountain. Number 8 is Kun, or earth. And this number is based on the pre-heaven Bagua, or the Xiantian Bagua. In Bagua, we have the pre-heaven and the post-heaven. For this method, we are going with the pre-heaven Bagua. In the post-heaven Bagua, the related number will be different. So the first and second number will be between 1 and 8 because you will be one of the Baguas. And the third number we want it to be between 1 and 6 because we want to know which is a transformation line. And we only have 6 lines. And then we can find out the chart to look at the top gua and the lower gua and check the corresponding I Ching hexagram. So that's a basic idea. First, we'll look at the I Ching divination by page number. So it can be from any book. First, you have to concentrate on your question and then randomly open a page and write down the number. That's your first number, or the lower gua. Because in I Ching divination, we always go from bottom up. And then we repeat again, thinking about the question and randomly open the page and write down the page number. That's your top gua number. And then repeat again, that will be your third number or your changing line. The number can be very big or very small, it really doesn't matter. But we want the first and second number to be between 1 and 8. So if the numbers are bigger than 8, we want to divide it by 8 and find the remainder. And for the third number, because we want the changing line, that will be between 1 and 6. So if the number is bigger than 6, we want to divide it by 6 and find the remainder. So for example, the first number is 145, and divided by 8, we have 18, and the remainder is 1. So the lower gua will be number 1, Qian gua. And the second number, 299, again we divide by 8. It's 37 with a remainder 3. So the Gua number for the top Gua will be number 3, the Li Gua. And here is a chart you can check. The number 1 is Qian heaven, and the number 3 is Li fire. And the third number is 64 divided by 6. It will be 10 with a remainder number 4. So the number 4 means it's the fourth line or the fourth yarrow in this hexagram. That will be the changing line. So you can see the Bagua symbol. The lower Gua is Qian and the top Gua is Li fire. And the fourth line is a changing line. So the original hexagram, after you check the chart, you can see it's number 14, Great Harvest. And after the changing line of the fourth line, the yang becomes yin, and the new hexagram is number 26. It's called Great Accumulation. So this is very straightforward method to cast the I Ching hexagram. The second way is similar. There are many different variations, but the rice grain picking is kind of popular way in the modern days. And the method is very simple. You concentrate on your question and pick a few grains of rice 3 times. You can pinch just a few grains or pick more grains in your hand, and you do it 3 times, so you will have 3 small piles on the table. And then you count how many grains in each pile. For example, the first pile is 23 grains of rice. The second one is 6 grains. The third one is 14. And then we can start calculating. The first number is the lower Gua, so you divide it by 8, and the remainder is number 7. So it will be number 7 Geng Gua. And the second number is 6. It's already smaller than 8, so we use number 6 directly. And when we check the pre-heaven Bagua, the number 6 is Kan Gua, and that's our top Gua. And the third number, we want to divide it by 6. So 14 divided by 6 is 2 with a remainder of 2. So the remainder is a yarrow number. So the changing line will be the second line or the second yarrow. So the original hexagram will be number 7 Geng Gua in the bottom and number 6 Kan Gua on the top. And the changing line is a second yarrow or the second line. And we count it from bottom up, so that will be yin line changed to yang line. So the new hexagram will be number 48, the well. That's after the transformation, and usually the new hexagram shows a result or future. So that's the rice grain method. And the third method I want to show is the Bagua cards method. You can make your own Bagua card. It can be 1 set of Bagua cards or 2 sets. And write down the Bagua number and the symbol on each card. And you can make 1 set or 2 sets. If it's 1 set, it will be only 8 cards. If it's 2 sets, it will be 16 cards. And the reason we want to use 2 sets is that because we need to pick up the top and bottom Gua. So we want to have the choice of picking up the same Gua. That's why we want to double the Bagua. If you only use 1 set, after you pick up the first Gua, you have to put the same card back. So you have the choice of picking up the same card again. So either way will work, but the 2 sets of Bagua cards will be easier. So similar to the first 2 methods, you can concentrate on the question, shuffle the card, and pick the first card. And the first card shows the lower Gua number. And repeat again, pick up the second Gua, and that will be the top Gua number. If you only use 1 set of Bagua card, remember to put back the first card you pick, so you have choice of picking the same card again for the top Gua. And then the third time will be the changing line. You can put back the second card thinking about your question and pick one card randomly. And since we want it between number 1 and 6 for the changing line, if the number is bigger than 6, we only have two choices here. If it's number 7, we divide it by 6, so the remainder will be 1. That will be number 1, or the first yarrow number. And if it's card number 8, we divide it by 6, the remainder will be 2, so that will be number 2. So that's how we pick the changing line in this Bagua card method. Here is an example. The first pick is card number 6, and we check the pre-heaven Bagua. That's the Kan Gua, and that will be the lower Gua. And the second pick is number 4. That's the Zheng Gua, and it will be the top Gua. And the third pick is number 8, and it's bigger than 6. So we divide it by 6, and the remainder will be number 2. So the changing line is the second line, or the second yarrow. The original hexagram has Kan number 6 as lower Gua, and the number 4 Zheng as top Gua. And after checking the chart, it's number 40, resolving. And the changing line is a second line, so the yang line changed to yin line. And the new hexagram is number 16, happy anticipation. And that will be the transformed hexagram showing the future result. So that's the 3 simple ways of doing I Ching hexagram. And there are a lot of different variations. For the changing line, you don't have to use a number. You can check the current time, and that will be a different divination method. Or you don't need a changing line at all. The method is very flexible. So what's the positive and negative about this numbering method? First, the positive is very easy, it's quick and convenient. You can use what you have around you. If you have a book, Bagua cards, or if you notice any numbers around you, you can use those numbers too. So it's very flexible and easy method. You just need to check the charts to find corresponding Bagua number and the corresponding hexagrams in I Ching. And the disadvantage of this method is that it only shows one transformation line. It's not like the 50 sticks method or the 3 coins method that can have multiple transformation lines or no transformation lines at all. This can be an advantage or disadvantage. It depends on how you look at it. There are endless ways to cast your I Ching hexagrams, and I think this is a lot more practical than counting the 50 sticks. I hope this video is helpful, and you can cast your own I Ching hexagrams and answer your own questions. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next week.